Many people pray with all their heart and take every medicine doctors prescribe, yet some illnesses seem to refuse to leave. This raises a painful question that many are afraid to ask. What if there are hidden spiritual forces behind certain suffering that ordinary treatment cannot reach? In this message, an which shares a powerful and eye-opening perspective from someone who once worked in the dark spiritual realm. Her revelation challenges what many people believe about sickness, healing, and spiritual warfare. She explains why some diseases persist despite prayers and medicine, and what people must understand if they truly want freedom and healing. Many people believe that every disease has only a physical explanation, something that medicine alone can diagnose and treat. Doctors study the body, and they do incredible work helping people recover from many conditions. Medicine is a gift, and it saves countless lives every single day. But there are moments in life when people face sickness that refuses to leave no matter how many treatments they try. They pray with deep faith and they follow every medical instruction carefully. Yet the illness continues as if something deeper is holding it in place. This is where a deeper understanding begins to open our eyes. According to the testimony of someone who once walked in dark spiritual practices, not every sickness begins in the body. Some afflictions are connected to forces that operate beyond what the human eye can see. In certain spiritual circles, it is believed that harm can be directed toward a person through rituals, spoken curses, or intentional spiritual manipulation. These actions are meant to weaken the body and drain the spirit of the victim. When something like this happens, the problem is no longer only physical. The real root may exist in a hidden spiritual dimension. Imagine trying to cut down a tree by trimming only the branches while the roots remain alive under the soil. The branches may fall for a moment, but soon new ones grow again because the root still feeds the tree. In the same way, a person may treat the visible symptoms of sickness again and again. Medicine may bring temporary relief, and prayer may bring moments of comfort. But if the root of the problem is spiritual, the battle is not yet finished. The sickness keeps returning because the deeper cause has not been confronted. This understanding does not reject medicine, but encourages people to seek wisdom about the unseen root. This message is not meant to create fear, but to awaken awareness and hope. When people understand that some struggles may have deeper causes, they can begin to pray with greater clarity and faith. They can ask for spiritual discernment and protection over their lives and families. Instead of feeling helpless, they begin to realize that freedom is possible when the true root is addressed. Light always has the power to overcome darkness when truth is revealed. Healing often begins the moment people start looking beyond what is visible. So never lose hope if the battle has been long and difficult. Sometimes the journey toward healing requires both physical care and spiritual understanding working together. When the root is discovered and confronted, the chains that once held a person captive can finally break. And when that happens, the path toward restoration becomes clear. There are moments in life when people pray with sincere hearts and still find themselves asking why the answer has not yet come. They believe in healing and they hold on to faith, yet the struggle continues longer than expected. This can create confusion and even quiet frustration deep inside the soul. But sometimes the reason is not a lack of faith or effort. Sometimes there are hidden doors in a person's life that allow affliction to remain. Until those doors are recognized and closed, the suffering may continue. According to the testimony of someone who once practiced dark spiritual work, certain doors can be opened through actions, traditions, or agreements that people do not fully understand. These doors may come from choices made in the present, or from practices that have existed in families for generations. In some cases, people unknowingly participate in activities that invite harmful spiritual influence. At other times, the door may come from words spoken long ago or from bonds that were never broken. These influences can quietly remain in the background of a person's life. While the person prays for healing, the unseen door continues to give sickness a place to stay. Think of a house that has many rooms and windows. A person may clean every part of the house and try to make it safe and peaceful, but if one window remains open during a storm, the wind and rain will continue to enter. No matter how often the floor is dried, the water will return because the window is still open. In the same way, spiritual doors can allow trouble to keep entering a person's life. Prayer begins the process of cleaning the house, but true freedom often requires finding and closing the open window. This message is not about blame, but about awakening awareness and courage. When people become willing to examine their lives with honesty, they often discover areas that need change or healing. Sometimes it may involve letting go of harmful influences or breaking away from practices that carry hidden spiritual weight. Other times it may require forgiveness or the rejection of words that were spoken over a life in the past. Each step toward truth strengthens a person's spiritual protection, and every closed door removes the power that sickness once used to remain. When those doors are finally shut, a new sense of peace often begins to rise within the heart. People start to experience a deeper level of freedom and hope that they had not felt before. Their prayers become stronger because nothing is quietly working against them anymore. The struggle that once seemed endless begins to lose its grip, and the journey toward healing moves forward with new strength and clarity. There comes a moment in every long struggle when a person begins to search for deeper understanding. After trying many medicines and offering countless prayers, people often ask what more they can do. The answer is not to lose faith or stop seeking help. Instead, it is to grow in spiritual awareness and wisdom. True healing sometimes requires more than repeating the same actions again and again. It calls for a deeper level of discernment about what is truly happening beneath the surface. The testimony of someone who once worked in dark spiritual practices reminds us that the unseen world can influence the visible one. When sickness is connected to deeper spiritual forces, ordinary efforts may only address the symptoms. A person may continue to pray faithfully yet feel as if the answer is delayed. This does not mean prayer has no power. It means that understanding the root of the battle becomes very important. Discernment helps people recognize whether the struggle is physical, spiritual, or a mixture of both. When a person begins to seek spiritual clarity, something powerful starts to happen. They move from confusion into awareness, and from awareness into action. They begin to ask deeper questions about their lives, their habits, and the influences around them. This process often leads to breaking harmful connections and rejecting things that once held quiet power. It also encourages people to surround themselves with truth, wisdom, and spiritual guidance. Each step taken with understanding weakens the grip of the problem. True healing often grows where faith and wisdom work together. Medicine continues to care for the body, while spiritual insight protects the inner life. Prayer becomes more focused and intentional when a person understands what they are truly confronting. Instead of feeling powerless, they become active participants in their own restoration. They stand with courage, knowing that truth has greater power than darkness. This balance creates a path where both physical care and spiritual strength move forward together. When people embrace this deeper approach, they begin to see change that once felt impossible. Hope grows stronger, and the heavy weight of discouragement begins to lift. What once looked like an endless battle slowly turns into a journey toward freedom. Every step guided by truth brings new strength and peace, and in time the door to lasting healing begins to open. In the end, this message reminds us that healing is sometimes deeper than what the eyes can see. While medicine treats the body and prayer strengthens the spirit, true restoration often begins when people seek understanding of the root behind their struggles. Awareness brings clarity, and clarity gives people the courage to confront what once remained hidden. No matter how long the battle has lasted, hope should never be abandoned. When faith, wisdom, and spiritual discernment come together, even the most stubborn affliction can lose its hold. The moment truth is embraced is often the moment the journey toward real healing truly begins.